Now, we did see cryptos get a bit of shakiness over the past 2, 3 days, and things are finally starting to clear up now, especially for Bitcoin. We will be covering, of course, Bitcoin and the rest of our other cryptos in our normal schedule as per usual during our technical analysis section in just a second. And other than that, as you can see, finally starting to see a bit of green again over the past 24 hours across the board here. Not a major jump higher for the most part, but definitely a bounce at the right time, I should say. Now, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for live cryptocurrency market updates. And I wanted to talk as well about the manipulation that I mentioned in my previous video. So I still believe that we've been seeing manipulation. If we look at the weekly chart here, especially for Bitcoin, it's just so blatant. Especially what happened just over the past 2 days or so, where we got this random drop off and then very flat bounce back up, and now we're getting a little bit of a drop off again. So this is so artificial. And what I wanted to mention about manipulation in crypto, or really any other market out there, is sometimes what could be seen as manipulation could also be some other things or a combination of other things, in the sense that what tends to happen is when certain patterns tend to emerge that could be caused by manipulation, they're then kind of reinforced by just the rest of the traders, in the sense that some people start noticing patterns. We've been noticing these Bart Simpson patterns. That's what people have been calling them, where we're getting these drops and consolidations, then kick higher, and people know about this, so they actually trade in a way that strengthens these movements and makes them even more real, right? So that's just something to be aware of. It can be seen on most other cryptocurrency charts, a little bit less for the most part, since these smaller altcoins are of course a little bit more volatile. But for Bitcoin specifically, this is just too perfect of a move right here, especially at the end of this chart, where this isn't natural, right? Is what I'm trying to say. And so just something to be aware of, I think. As per usual, I'm not here to give financial advice. I'm just here to share my personal opinion. Now let's get into the technical analysis. So what I like here about Bitcoin is we finally got a bounce off our support level, meaning our uptrend line, and it doesn't look like we're going to move below $6,000 for the time being, at least. It's still possible, but for now we are still holding up nicely. And basically, since we got a bounce off our uptrend line, I think that we're going to be heading towards the end of our symmetrical triangle formation, right? And that's between these two trend lines right here. So basically, the end of that formation is going to be towards the end of September. Here you can see 22nd of September, and that's at around 6,150 Satoshis. So that's where I think we're heading next. I think we'll probably be able to maintain in this triangle until then. But at that point, right, it's really going to be pretty much 50-50 if we're going to break higher or end up moving below $6,000, which could then push us down to $5,000. So still got to be careful here. Nothing is guaranteed as per usual in the cryptocurrency markets. And at this point, I feel like, we could still go and visit that $5,000 area once and for all. The good thing about that is then it would really clear out a lot of downside, right? So moving over to Ethereum, Ethereum has been in the spotlight, and not necessarily for a good thing, right? It's been really getting hounded as far as the drop is concerned, and it seems like a little bit of a loss of interest in Ethereum. I'm not sure if that's the right way to put it, but the bottom line is Ethereum is just not as strong as it once was. Could be due to the ICO marketplace kind of falling apart a little bit, but right now definitely not looking strong, right? Pretty much in free fall mode, no real clear support. We're now below $220. Crazy to think about Ethereum being under $200, but it is what it is. And at this point, next support level is all the way down at, let's see, I'm not even sure if I have this drawn out on my chart, but yeah, it looks like the next support level is actually at $136. So we'll see if we're really going to be heading down there, but it is possible at this point. So for now, don't think Ethereum is necessarily safe. Once again, that's just my personal opinion, but it's very weak compared to what we used to think of Ethereum, at least. I still like Ethereum, but right now, in the current market situation, it just isn't a safe play like many other cryptos out there, right? Bitcoin is the only one that has some clear stability since it is, of course, the market leader. Now, moving over to Litecoin, we can see that did get a bounce as well here off $53, so a bit better than Ethereum. And it looks like we could break out of this downtrend line at this point, so that would be good. That would probably avoid some downside, and avoid us dropping below $53. Although that is still possible, so we'll have to wait and see over the next day or so. If we do move lower, we're probably going to be heading towards the next triangle formation, towards the end of the next triangle formation, which is at around $46. If we're able to avoid that drop, probably going to be a little bit above $53 for a while here until the market stabilizes. Let's go ahead and take a look at Nano, see what's going on. So Nano was actually one of the stronger altcoins recently, but it got a really big run up, which was great. However, once it hit 57,000 Satoshis, we ended up dropping pretty significantly here. We lost our uptrend line support and pretty much back in a bit of a free fall mode. Lost support at 36,000 Satoshis, which is unfortunate. That was a good support level. At this point, I think our next stop is going to be right at around 27,000 Satoshis. And I believe that at that point we can get some more support going. If we are going to fall a bit lower than that, probably going to be somewhere around 21,000 Satoshis where we're going to hit some support. But at least we have some pretty clear support areas already mapped out. So we just want to make sure we get the bounce there. And I should also point out, just noticed this, but our support level at 27,000 Satoshis is perfectly in line with our lower Bollinger Band, which means that there is a lot of support in that area, so gives it a better chance to bounce there. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ripple, see what's going on. So going over to the Binance chart here, we can see that Ripple is currently trading around 27 cents, pretty flat right now, not doing all that much, bit of a doji candlestick. I'd say expect some consolidation between 25 cents and 30 cents for the time being. Now let's go over to our next crypto, which is going to be Neo, and Neo actually has been having a rough time. It was one of the worst performing cryptos last month, so let's see what's going on. Maybe it's been doing a little bit better, and for the most part it has, right? We haven't really been crashing lower or anything like that. Basically we're starting to stabilize, it looks like, putting in a bit of a base now around $18. So I expect this to trade around that level for a bit more time. The bigger range that we're in is between $13 and $20. So that's overall the range I think we're going to be trading in for a bit here, probably 2 to 3 weeks at least. Let's go ahead, take a look at EOS, see what's going on, and going over to the Binance chart. EOS got a nice bounce at the last minute back into its uptrend line. That's a really good sign. However, we aren't above 8,000 Satoshis again. So, if we were struggling with that, we could end up flipping lower. Hopefully, we're able to get back above 8,000 Satoshis and just continue this slow but steady climb higher towards the end of the symmetrical triangle formation at 9,000 Satoshis. Good bounce on the indicators, so I'm hopeful that that can happen, but it's really going to be a matter of getting back above that 8,000 Satoshi level within the next 24 hours, I'd say, or else we're going to be heading down to 7,000 Satoshis next. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next crypto, which is Stellar Lumens, and see what's going on. So Stellar currently moving towards 3,000 Satoshis, not the best sign. Starting to see a little bit of downside movement on the Bollinger Bands and middle band indicators, not the strongest as well, relatively flat. So at this point, it's very important that we stay above 3,000 Satoshis. Any move below that is going to start pushing us very quickly down to 2,500 Satoshis, which is a pretty significant drop. So hopefully that can be avoided, but the only way for that to really happen, I'd say, is if we're able to stay nicely above 3,000 Satoshis, which is looking a little bit tricky at the moment. We're really at the edge here. Let's go ahead and take a look at Lisk, see what's going on. And Lisk is currently getting a nice bounce above $3.51. Bollinger Band's pretty flat here, making it nice to see where the range is. So basically, I expect some consolidation between $3.51 and $4.71 for the time being. We could even move a little bit above that if we're going to see a little more strength. Let's go ahead and take a look at Cardano now, see what's going on. Hopping over to the Bittrex chart, we can see that Cardano not looking strong at all here. This is something that even I didn't expect. We actually are moving below 1,254 Satoshis. I was pretty confident that we're going to get a nice bounce there, but Now that we're moving lower, yeah, that's not good for Cardano at all. This could mean a move below 1,000 Satoshis, which is pretty critical, I'd say. Indicators looking very weak here. Kind of a free fall mode for Cardano, unfortunately. Not what I was expecting. Gonna have to keep an eye on this one, but I'd say pretty dangerous. Let's go ahead and take a look at IOTA. IOTA getting a little bit of a bounce here, a little bit of stabilization. Still struggling to get back above 56 cents. Hopefully, though, we'll see that happen within the next week or two. But for the time being, if we're not able to move above 56 cents, we could move below 46 cents, which would mean, a bigger drop down to 33 cents. That's kind of been a long time coming. We never actually tested that support level, so it'd be good to clear that out. For now, though, we're in this range between 46 cents and 56 cents. Whichever side we'll break out of first is going to be where we're probably going to be heading next based on the trend, right? With that being said, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, and make sure to follow me on Twitter.